Hello and welcome to a new video. So in this video we're going to be messing about with the fry tank. What has happened is something that regularly happens, is the pressure pump that supplies the drum filter with water has packed in. Well, it's not packed in, it's still working actually. But what happens is the fry obviously require a lot of salt and all that sort of thing, and the pressure pump that supplies the high pressure water to the spray bar is just not designed for being in salt. And I mean, they last a couple of years, so they tend to last 2 years, and then they just start to have failures all over the place. And it doesn't matter for this tank, it doesn't matter whether I buy an expensive one or a cheap one. 2 years seems to be it. This one, the main ponds drum, is on its second high pressure booster pump, but obviously that doesn't experience as much salt and that as this tank does, so that's probably why this one's only on its second, and then that one in 10 years as well, and then this one is like once every 2 years I need to put a new one on. So let's have a look. I'm doing it differently this time, I'm not putting a booster pump on it, so we'll see where the pressure is. So where's that? Let's have a look. Somewhere around 3.5 bar. That's not bad. There's probably actually more pressure than this one. Let's check and see what this one is. So this one, that's not far off. About the same actually. I wouldn't have thought that. So this one, but this one is leaking. So we'll look at that in a bit. So this one is actually a slightly more powerful pump than this one, because I used to have a problem where, well, I still do really, I have a problem where it just couldn't quite get all the muck off. Let's get a torch and have a look. Right, I've got a torch, so if we shine it in, it's not too bad actually, so I'm not long since pressure washed it. But usually what happens is, you can sort of see it there actually, so this bit here that I must have missed with pressure washer, and it's just causing a little bit of like goo to build up, and it just eventually blocks it, and I've just never managed to solve that even with the more powerful pump. And obviously there's a UV light usually on, I've turned that off. The UV light does a good job of keeping the drum filter clean. But we're not using a pump, we're going to be using mains water, so I want to try that. And there's a couple of reasons I'm using mains water. I think my mains water supply is just borderline powerful enough to do it. We'll see. Just a test really. But obviously there's no salt in the mains water, so I ain't got to worry about it damaging anything. Well, there'll be no pump to damage, so I'm not going to be putting a pump on the supply. I'm literally just going to be putting a solenoid valve. Let's have a look at that. So here we are, this is the solenoid valve I'm going to be using. I've used this, I've done it this way before, and quite a lot of drum filters are actually set up permanently this way, but not with this filter, so it's just going to be a test. So that is to link into this pipe, and so I'm going to be putting them in each end of it. And so this is actually a mains powered solenoid, which I haven't used before. I usually use 12 volt ones and that, but this one's mains powered, so it'll take the pump feed out of that normally feeds power to the pump, go straight into this, and this will open and send water straight to the job. So hopefully it works out. I don't think it'll be quite the same pressure, but we'll find that out. But I think, I'm going to do it before the dechlorinator as well, so the water that hits the screen is going to be chlorinated water, so that might have some sort of cleaning effect as well. So let's get on with it, bit of plumbing to do. Right, so here we are in the basement with the pump in question, and as you can see, yeah, it drips. So somewhere it's just gone round this gasket or whatever. Still pumps fine, as you can tell from earlier. Doing 3.5 bar. No, that's that one. That's the main ponds drum. No leaks on that one. Oh, thankfully. Right, so yeah, so I'm going to be taking all this off here. I might put a tap on here so I can drain the drum filter or something like that. Might be handy to have. And this is all going to be replaced by so where are we? So there's the MDP water line. So I'll probably put a T-junction in that, bring it over here, swap it to this pipe, and then go into the solenoid, and then go up there on the into the drum. Pretty simple. And then the power that feeds this, so that cable that feeds this, I'll just cut that off and feed it into the solenoid. So it's just powering solenoid. The one thing I did regret about this setup, which I only sort of learnt later on, is that I used this pipe. So it's like this one's a bit stronger than a hose pipe, I'd say, but it's not probably too much different from a regular hose pipe like this. It has too much expansion in it, so when the pump runs, this hose pipe sort of inflates a little bit, and it takes the impact out of the pressure that it's generating. Whereas this one, this JG or John Guest pipe, 15mm this one is, has like no or very little sort of expansion in it. So when this starts up and starts pumping water to the spray bar in the drum filter, it just sprays instantly. There's no like inflating the pipe and gaining pressure. It just sprays. So I was pleased when I put this pipe in. It was a lot better on the main drum, and it's probably actually the reason, but I don't know actually, because this pump's leaking, you can't tell exactly, but it's probably one of the reasons why the pressure output of both drums were very similar. They're both 3.5 bar, probably because that's just absorbing a bit of the pressure of this pump, because this is a 1000 watt pump with a 40 something meter head, and then this is an 800 watt pump with a 36 meter head, something like that. So that one should be more powerful, but obviously it leaks as well, so that's not a good indication. But I do think that pipe for these drums is definitely the way to go, and it's easy to attach. You know, you just use these push fittings, so it's pretty easy. So let's get on with that. I'll get on with bringing the mains water in somehow. In fact, I won't be using that because that goes through the dechlorinator, so I've got to put a T-junction in the line before the dechlorinator over there. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of work in this area, so it's a bit of a mess at the minute, but we'll get it sorted out. That's to be a future video. Well, we're here actually. You can see that the mains water pressure's, what's that now? So that, oh god, how's that work? 0.2 of a bar, so not 0.2 of a bar, so that'd be 2 bar, so that's 3, it's almost 3 bar, something like that. So yeah, so the mains water pressure is almost 3 bar, and then that's after the thing, so before the dechlorinator it might be a little bit more pressure, so we might not be that far off for getting the pressure that the pumps produce anyway, which would be pretty nice. Yeah, this thing drips. I hate this thing. It forever drips. But I'm changing this setup. We'll have a look at it in another video, but there's going to be a tank going here. There's going to be a filtration system for the main pond. Yeah, it's been a bit of a project to get even to this stage, when it's yeah. Well, you'll see there's a video I haven't put out yet, but literally I've rebuilt ended up renewing all this flooring and that, because it were all rotten. But there we go, the joys of having indoor fish ponds. Taking these filters to bits and seeing what the state of the cartridge is like is always quite interesting. It's amazing how much muck. So this one, I actually use a 1 micron filter in here, which will also reduce the pressure on that gauge. The reason being is I don't want too much flow through the system, and the 1 micron catches a lot of muck. So these will be really clean in comparison, because these are just carbon filters anyway, but With 5 micron, these can actually get a little bit mucky when this starts to get really mucky. But let's see what this 1 micron looks like. There we go, that's the 1 micron filter, or the sediment filter. Not actually that bad, I've seen it a lot worse than this. Obviously it's supposed to be brilliant white, as you can see inside it. So none of the muck's been getting through, which is good. But yeah, I've seen it a lot worse than that, but I don't think it's that long ago since I changed it. 3 months. Changed it 3 months ago. So yeah, it's pretty bad to see it's only been in there 3 months. So yeah, it shows you what's in your mains water supply, doesn't it? Well, actually, I do know what is in his mains water supply because before I fitted this filter, because the one before this completely blocked up, it weren't actually letting any water through. And what they've done is on our street they've put on a machine thing on fire hydrant and purged the fire hydrant system. And you could see the muck coming out of the fire hydrant were ridiculous. And then the residual of all that muck came into the fish house and blocked my filter up. So the previous one to this, it might have been the one before it, I can't remember, but the previous one to this actually blocked completely solid and won't let any water flow. It was quite impressive. So when I open the valve, it trickled, but when I open the valve to let the water flow to the flow fully through it, it literally just drip out, and it won't go very fast at all. Right, let's remove this thing. Right, so we've got the dechlorinator mounted there, and it's actually doing quite well. Probably should have showed it before I wet all the flow through, but it's not leaking very much, which is nice, makes a change. But there's not as much pressure going to it, because all it's doing is supplying the trickle to the main pond and fry tank. So everything else is not on dechlorinated water anymore, which doesn't matter. It's a temporary situation, which I shouldn't say it's a temporary situation, because that means it'll be there for at least 2 years. And then obviously I've just put a cut in this pipe here that feeds that with water, and then the pipe goes there, and then that cut leads to the tank at the front of the house, and then this cut here is going to go, so yeah, yeah, a lot of T-junctions. So this one's going to be the one that is feeding the drum filter. So I brought it to here, and it's got this tap on it, and then we stop here where it's converting to the white pipe, which we'll see in a minute. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just let some water through. Craggy. So yeah, the reason I let some water through is because when it obviously lets water through to the drum, I don't want it letting any bits of plastic in, because then I've got to clean all them out of the drum. So yeah, this one's mounting up here when I get a minute as well, but yeah. Let's get the solenoid on there and then disconnect all this pump and stuff. Right, so I've got that up there. That converts to that goes up there, and then that's going to go there. And then now I need to put the pipe in from the drum filter around here and into this. And then that's going to sit there like that. I know it'd be more convenient to sit it that way around, but I'm not doing that because I don't want any water, if it does leak from here, to go into that. So, especially with it being a mains powered one, this. So I think we'll be fine like that. In fact, I should be able to pressurise it. Ooh. Have I got the wrong solenoid? That normally open solenoid. I did not check that. I've got a feeling I've got the wrong solenoid. Damn! My fault. I put it on the wrong way around. So let's try that again. There we go. Water's on. Yeah, good. Whew. So I'm gonna have to buy another one then. Right, let's get it fitted. Right, the next thing to do up here is to fit this bit here onto there. So it's like that. So this pipe can just go straight into it. But the first thing I need to do is just run the drum filter, because I don't want to actually drain the system. So if I run the drum filter, do a last check at pressure. It's like going up to 3.25, 3.5 bar, going up that way. Yeah, so we'll find out. I reckon it's going to be about 3 bar, but we'll see. So I need to take that hose off, and I'm going to just move that out of the way, and we should be fine. Turn the drum filter off for now. Right, let's get that disconnected. So that's all set up there, that's in its final place. The wiring's not particularly very good, but the reason I've done that, yeah, so this cable, that's the cable that went into the pump, and it weren't long enough to fit into there, so I'll sort that out later. But I needed to get the drum running again before the filter ran out of water, and I need to remove this pump anyway, so plenty to do. But yeah, it runs now, so let's run it. Right then, let's run the drum filter. And as you can see, the pressure's just over 2 bar, so 2 1/4, something like that, from the mains water supply, which is a little bit disappointing. I wanted it to be more closer to 3, but let me show you inside the drum filter. It's not that bad. So what I'm going to do, I'm not actually going to clean out this drum filter. I'm just going to leave it exactly like it is. You can see there's a bit of muck just here, look, and a bit of muck. It's not bad, but there's a bit of muck in it. Let's leave it like that just for a couple of days. Come back to it and see if it's any worse or any better or just the same, and then we'll know whether it's actually getting enough pressure. So let's go with that. But it actually sounds like it's getting enough pressure, so I don't like running the drum with the lid off, but if I do it like that, yeah, they feel well powerful enough. So yeah, the pressure is not quite what it were, but I'm quite happy with it. I wish it would have been 3 bar, but yeah, surprisingly seems okay. One thing I've probably got to watch out for is this pipe's getting wet because it's got cold water flowing through it. Might put some insulation around that. Yeah, everything's a bit wet. There we go, that's it running. So that's actually cleaning the system. Not very eventful, just a little click. And then once the drum's finished cleaning, it should click again. There you go. That's it. Cleaning done. So not quite as eventful as actually the pump running, and a bit quieter, but yeah. Hey, I put something together and it didn't leak. I think that's, see if we can spot any leaks. Had a drip. No. Oh god, look at that. Yeah, I'm getting good at this plumbing bit. Yeah. I really like these joints. There's a bit of dampness right now. It's moisture off a cold pipe. I really like these joints compared to these type. So these ones are very expensive, but they're just so easy. The only problem is we get with these is there's an O-ring in it. There's no O-ring in other ones, but the O-ring in these, if you just don't get the pipe slotted in perfectly, you can push the O-ring out of line and then it just leaks like crazy. So it either fits together right easy and it's not a problem, or it leaks completely. So whereas these ones, them can actually like drip and mess about and that. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. They really bite on the pipe as well, so you ain't got to worry about, like with that solenoid turning off and a bit of water hammer, I ain't got to worry about it really letting go of these joints where I have that, you know. Yeah, it's temporary. It's temporary. But I'm gonna probably, when I redo it all properly and put in a new dechlorinator, because I want one of them big blue ones, I'm gonna redo all the pipe with these joints, and probably less of the blue pipe and more of the white pipe as well. But we'll see how we go with that when we get there. So that's it for the basement. So here we are 2 days later, and it's been running great actually. I'm quite pleased with it. I've noticed that there's maybe a slight film developing on the drum, but would that have come on anyway? It might have done, because I do pressure wash it every now and then. I still have to pressure wash it. Obviously the fry produce a lot of waste, and that's, you know, one of the reasons why the pumps keep dying and so forth. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. There's no proper muck settling anywhere, and it's running quite well. Right, it's probably going to go off shortly. So yeah, it's running great, and I'm going to leave it like that for a bit. Obviously I can do what you're supposed to do, which is to put a tank on it that fills up with mains water, and then you use a booster pump to pump out of that. But you know, then I've still got to run a booster pump, and I don't want to. We'll just try it like this, and if the pressure isn't high enough, then in fact, let's see if the pressure's changed any now. It's later on in the day. What's that at? 2.5, 2 3/4. That's not too bad then. It might even be slightly better than it was the other day. So yeah, I mean the pressure's going to fluctuate because it's night time now. The pressure's going to fluctuate, so yeah. Have a quick look at the fishies. They're not going to be too pleased. Look at the size of them, massive. I'll be doing an update on them next week, hopefully. So watch out for that. So yeah, if you want to see any fishy related videos, then please feel free to subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, then please put them down below. And I shall see you in the next video. And it'll probably be on these little guys. And the bigger guys. See you in the next video. Bye.